Hey, what's up guys? Today I have a review on the Yuxin Red 6x6. Now before I get started, I would like to say my review on this puzzle is based off of the spring swap that I did to it. Now getting into more specifics on that, I took the Yuxin 6x6 spring out of the puzzle and I put in the Yuxin 5x5 spring. Now the springs themselves appear to perform very similarly. However, the Yuxin blue spring is slightly shorter, and for whatever reason that makes a major difference in this puzzle. And in addition to changing the springs, I of course lubed this puzzle with 30K weight lube from Cubes4Speed. Now getting more into the cube itself, this puzzle is 65mm, which is smaller than the Aoshi, which I'm happy to say because in my opinion the Aoshi was way too large. In addition, the stickers on this puzzle are fairly decent. They have quite a bit of contrast, which is nice, and I haven't had too many issues with chipping. However, I have been seeing a kind of white grime show up around the edges, and I'm not a huge fan, so for that reason I will be re-stickering this puzzle with some half brights. Now finally getting into the turning on this puzzle, it does have a swishy, bumpy, smooth feeling to it, one that I quite enjoy. This puzzle is also quite fast, however I will have to say that I attribute most of the speed to the spring swap. Before changing the springs, I will say that this puzzle was far slower. That being said, the turning by no means is bad without the spring swap. It is just a bit slower and a little bit more sluggish, and I'm someone who prefers more of a fast turning, which is why I enjoy this puzzle far more with the spring swap. However, as many of you might recall from my unboxing, this puzzle did have some popping issues out of the box. And as much as I would like to say that's completely eliminated since lubing and spring swapping this puzzle, unfortunately it has not. When attempting to corner cut close to a piece or more, the back piece does unfortunately pop out. Or when I'm attempting to turn too fast or I'm turning inaccurately, the cube does decide that it wants to shapeshift. These two occurrences are rare for me though, because I would say I have relatively accurate turning, and for the most part I'm not attempting to corner cut anything more than like very small amounts in an actual solve, so these don't happen as often. However, one thing that does happen on this puzzle kind of more frequently than these other two occurrences is when an internal piece gets slightly misaligned. I will say that this mostly happens when I'm attempting to scramble the cube really fast or I'm turning kind of inaccurately, and it's not that big of a deal. However, it is just kind of a pain to have to swivel the piece back in place. One issue that I had with the Aoshi was that it didn't really like to keep its square shape very well, which was kind of annoying during solves, and I'm happy to say that the Yuxin Red for me does not have this issue. So I know I've thrown a lot of information out on this puzzle, both the good and the bad, and before I end this video I would like to say that this is my main speed cube. I've broken all of my PBs on it, and I do highly recommend it whether or not you're going to spring swap it or not. I do recommend that if you want this cube at its highest potential to spring swap it, it overall reduces kind of those pops and makes it a little faster, but even without the spring swap, this puzzle I definitely would say is probably the best on the market. It's a great size, it has a great feeling, and in all honesty, no 6x6 that I have ever personally owned has been amazing, like without having to do any sort of modifications. My Aoshi, it was not good at first. I hated it. It took a lot of breaking in. And before that, my Shengshao, I had to modify, spring swap, and lube. So for me personally, just having to swap the springs on this puzzle in order to make it better has been the least amount of work that I've had to do to make a 6x6 good. However, I do understand that a lot of people have never modified a 6x6 or taken it apart and lubed it or spring swapped it, so I do understand why there could be some reservations there. However, I would still recommend this puzzle, and you can get this for only $26 from Cubes4Speed.com. If you're interested in purchasing it there, I will link you in the description. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!